Hi guys, Andy from Vivid Ink Tattoo Studios, and it's October, which means one thing at Vivid Ink, it means Halloween season. And today I'm going to be reacting to our 3 previous brand adverts. Okay, so Adam came to me in 2020 and he said, I've got this idea for a Halloween video, and I thought, let's do it, sounds great. And then he pitched me what it was going to be, and I was like, that's a bit crazy. Let's definitely do it. The way that Tim's put Eddie's ink on there and all the neon glow and all that stuff, and made it look super moody, is like really, really good. So I really like that as a starting point, and there's a great sound effect starts the whole thing. Like this little subtle buzzing kind of noise. This is actually an old warehouse that was part of my old office complex and made like a horrible tattoo studio in there basically. The sound effects in this are just brilliant. So this little figurine here is, it's so subtle, it's just in there. You would think, why have they got a close-up on that? But it's just like, these little things make these kind of videos, the little hidden details. And I've actually still got this guy. I'll be back in 1 sec. Yes, I knew I had him. So, here he is, little dancing skeleton. I was gonna say here is, and then, but I don't actually have a name. So yeah, let's do it like this. Whoever can come up with the best name for this little character here is going to win themselves a £100 Vivid Ink gift card. We're going to do it by the most liked comment, so drop a comment of the name you think it should be. The most liked comment is going to win a £100 gift card. Let's get back to the video. If you listen to the sound effects as his arm's moving, it's the actual sound of it, but it's like heightened. And this video specifically has all these phenomenal sound effects in it. So this is the first introduction to the Freddy Krueger. His name's actually Eddie, because we didn't want to get any kind of copyright issues, even though that probably wouldn't hold up anyway, just calling him Eddie and him looking exactly the same. But yeah, I love all the sparks and the fire effects that are going on here, just adds another element. This is really cleverly shot.
First time.
I really like how they made this glove. I remember coming into the office and seeing Adam making this glove, and it was like a few stages removed from this stage, and I was like, what the hell are you doing, mate? And he was like, oh, I'm making a tattoo glove for Freddy Krueger. I was like, okay, yeah, enjoy. And then I came back, and on the day I saw that and I was like, that's crazy. And because the color and the ink and all that stuff is added in afterwards, it still kind of didn't make any sense to me, but now it makes sense when you see it on the screen. There's that skull figurine again. He's now covered in ink. You'll see the ink still on him when you see him. And what I love about the ending of this, it makes it like, it softens the whole thing down, because prior to this, it's a little bit like, a bit scary and a little bit dark. And then as soon as he like does the hold still, and then that like laugh comes on and there's like the funky music, he kind of just makes it a fun thing rather than a scary thing, which was our whole idea all along. This entire concept came because Adam said, Freddy Krueger, Halloween, nightmares, don't let your next tattoo be a nightmare. So that strap line was built in, and then we made the content based around that. So that happens quite a lot for us. We think of a strap line and then we reverse engineer it into a piece of content. And this was the first one. So this was our first Halloween special. Quite short, it was only a minute long, really fun, really engaging. It got a great response online. Everybody was like, that's crazy, but fair play to you for making something so unique. And it looked quite cinematic as well, which was really nice. If I was to give this one a rating, I did really like it, especially seeing it first time when I watched it being filmed, obviously, and then I had no idea. The edit took a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden Adam was like, come and watch this, and I watched it. I was like, man, that's crazy. That's really, really good. Fair play. So I'm gonna give that one an 8.5 out of 10. That's a really high score. Set a good benchmark to start from. Yeah, really liked it. Let's head on to the second special, which was from 2021. Okay, so once we filmed that one, it was like, how the hell are we gonna film another one? Like, how can you come up with another Halloween inspired advert? And yeah, it was pitched to me, zombies. And I was like, okay, I'm in. Saw how good the last one was. Let's give it a go. And it was, can we go a little bit more extreme than last time? And I was like, of course you can. Let's do it. So this one here starts, and a lot of people have asked me before how we got this footage, because it's like Birmingham and it's battered and it's, you know, it's like completely derelict. And all of this was filmed during lockdown. All of these were happening during lockdown, and somebody had flown a drone over the city and got all of these scenes, and we saw those. We licensed those from that person, and then we put the After Effects on top of it to make it look better. A phenomenal job by Tim to do that. Really, really hard to do, by the way, and it really sets the scene for it. So essentially, the city is completely abandoned as zombies have taken over.
Life's different now. No more liking, tagging, or following. It's just running. With suppliers.
This shot at the BT tower, everybody always mentions to me, because again, it's like a really clever shot. There's nothing happening apart from the BT tower essentially on fire and barbed wire everywhere. Again, really cleverly done.
Our fight for existence seems to be at an end. Or so we thought.
And then you see the Vivid Ink helicopter, which is a really strange sentence to say out loud. Right, let's carry on.
To be at an end. Or so we thought.
So here you can see Pete from Big Brother bursting into this cinema in Stafford. Pete is a friend of somebody who was working on this project with us, and I'd never watched Big Brother, like it not being like the kind of thing that I'd watch personally. But when I met him, I was like, this guy seems crazy, but in like a really good way. He's like one of the most charismatic people I've ever met. He was hilarious. He was like constantly like, you know, the mannerisms that he has and everyone knows him for. He was like, he was so not an act at all, but such a genuine nice guy. And it was like really funny to watch him doing this. And he's also a really good actor as well. And way more famous than I realized. Like everywhere we were going, we were filming this in Stafford Town Centre. Loads of people just kept coming up to us and saying, he's that Pete from Big Brother. And he's like, yeah. And like, they were like, can we have a photo with him? And I was like, that's crazy. He's like a genuine famous person. And then every person who's watched this has always said, how did you get Pete from Big Brother to be on there? I was like, I have no idea, but he was on there. So yeah, really brought a lot to this actual production. Chris, who I mentioned earlier, who was in the first Halloween special, he's actually in the second Halloween special as well. And here he is on the screen. He's wiping some dust away to grab some popcorn. He doesn't last that long in this one, but he is in it. So you'll see him. He's about to get murdered in a pretty nasty way. There goes Christopher. I think of all of the venues we've filmed in, all the locations, this is my favorite. It's the most visually appealing venue. It's an old cinema in Stafford. It had closed like 2 or 3 months before. And it's just such a cool place to be able to actually film something. All the prosthetics in this, all the blood and the guts and the zombie faces and all that stuff took ages to do. I'm talking like 8 hours for each person to have their prosthetics put on. It's a long process and it's a serious skill as well that these guys do to make it look real. Geezer's just chilling, watching a film, munching someone's head. But yeah, Pete's facial expressions in this are the best. There was no direction to him either. He just did it and just made it infinitely better. We filmed all these running scenes in the underpasses in Aston in Birmingham, which is, people wondered what the hell we were doing, like running around, drones flying around, all this mad stuff. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't followed this so far, the short synopsis is there's been a zombie takeover. There's a few survivors who are trying to find food and survive. Then they go to that place. The final 2 survivors get murked. And then this lady now realizes, oh no, I've bit, and she drops. And now my favorite part of this entire scene is coming up. I'll show you for why very shortly. My favorite scene of the whole thing is coming up now.
Don't worry. I'm here to help. I'm a survivor. Let's go.
Okay, so what you just seen there is it's my favorite scene for a few reasons. Number one, it features a good friend of mine, Vaughn Lee, former UFC fighter, brilliant fighter, now brilliant coach, and a phenomenal guy. And he's so charismatic. He's like just got like an aura about him that comes across so well on this. Even though he goes, "We've got a survivor," and he's got no earpiece in, it still works brilliant. And then the other thing is, I watched them film this, so all of this is green screen. That helicopter that's flying above was green screen. The way she's like on this little metal rail and being carried off was essentially this metal thing just on a pallet on the floor with a green fabric below it. And then me and Luke with a massive fan like wafting it so her hair was moving around. So to see that, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. There is not a chance it's going to work. And then you saw it afterwards. I was like, man, I can't believe you've managed to turn that proper makeshift like guerrilla filmmaking thing into this cool looking shot. Is really impressive. Here's another shot of Vaughn just looking cool generally. You're about to see my cameo. Here I am. I didn't want to be in this,
We found the cure.
but you also see Luke on the left hand side as well. But we didn't really have a choice because we didn't have enough extras. So it was like, oh, we need someone to run this bed through there. And that, where we filmed that running through that scene, it's like a shared creative working space again in Aston area. And we were like running trolleys down the things, and we got so many strange looks. But it was a creative space, so people were used to it. And it was also really narrow, so I'm sure Luke smashed his ankles to pieces like right this weird thing down there. Then the final shots of this, we see that Vivid Ink, the artists, have discovered that there's a specific type of ink which once you've been infected, they can tattoo this and it reverses the process and it takes you from being a zombie to back to normal. And how do we know that? We know that because that was her telling the story. Super cheesy, but it summarizes the whole thing really nicely. And the final shot of that was again how this whole thing was brought together. The strap line, bring your skin to life, Vivid Ink. Technically it should be for that video, bring your skin back to life, but bring your skin to life works better because that is what we do with Vivid Ink. Take plain skin, then we bring it to life. So this whole thing was a really cinematic version. It was a lot going on. My only critique of this, I think it's a great piece of content. My only critique is if you didn't watch all the way to the end, you might have got lost with the tattoo element of it because it was just like zombie stuff. And then the last 30 seconds tied it together really well. If you hadn't seen that, it might not make any sense. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I think what makes it a little bit better than the other one, it's got some more elements. I think Pete from Big Brother's phenomenal in it. Vaughn's really good in it. All the other like prosthetics and all that stuff, it's quite an elaborate video. It's really cinematic and it got a lot of people talking that we'd managed to create a zombie apocalypse in Birmingham. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Moving on, this is the last one. This is from 2022. It's called I Believe. And this one's a little bit crazy also. Let's get into it. Okay, so this one starts inside of a Vivid Ink tattoo studio. It starts inside of Vivid Ink Birmingham, and I wanted to give it the tattoo edge immediately because some of the other ones, like unless you get to the end, you don't know it's about tattooing. I wanted this one to be immediately obvious. It's about tattooing, so we start in Vivid Ink Birmingham, and straight away you can see some proper characters from the Vivid Ink studios. You got VJ there, absolute legend. Meiji, area manager, runs the desk at Birmingham for years as well, so everybody knows him really well. And then my favorite person of all time at Vivid Ink, you're not supposed to have favorites, that's what they say about your kids, but Dorian is officially my favorite artist at Vivid Ink. Everybody knows this. Basically, there would be no Vivid Ink without Dorian. He was the first artist of the brand, and he brought lots of friends to come and work here as well, and he's just an absolute legend. Anybody who's met Dorian will also know he's a legend. He's hilarious, and he's just one of those guys, like you can't not like Dorian. And me and him, we've got a very special bond. Okay, so we see the return of Christopher. This guy is very unlucky. Number one, he's been in Freddy Krueger's tattoo studio. Then he's been eaten by some zombies. And now he's an alien hunter. So yeah, he's lost a lot of weight from this one to that one as well. He's done really well. And he comes in with his book, I need this and I need it now. And now what I really like about this is the reactions from everybody. So you got VJ and Dorian looking over, so serious. Dorian's reaction is just gold because he's like, he could win an Oscar because he's the most unserious person in the world. And then he looks across all serious. So yeah, that was the opening montage, sets the scene, normal day at Vivid Ink. Crazy guy comes in, I need this and I need it now. And he's got this ancient book with a tattoos design in there. Now, all these shots here were shot on green screen. Okay, you're about to see my second cameo. Again, we didn't have an extra, so it had to be me. And it was really grim, to be fair, because you'll see.
Feeling like I was meant for more than just this.
So this character, he works in an ice cream van and he's not really thinking about the ice cream he's serving, he's just looking into space and he poured ice cream all over my hand.
I searched everywhere, followed every lead, every hoax, till finally that last piece of the puzzle. In an ancient corner of the world, the symbol, handed down through centuries and transferred to the skin.
If you didn't listen to that voiceover, this entire thing makes zero sense. If you did listen to it, it does make sense. Essentially, he's found this book in a corner of the world after searching for years and years. He's found this symbol which shows it tattooed on somebody's arm, and that then results in going to another place with the aliens. This is a completely fake arm. So this tattoo is on a fake arm, and I don't think anyone's going to be very surprised when you pause it to see that it's a fake arm, because it's very clearly a fake arm. Luke did this from the video in Litchfield like the day before, so appreciate that as well, Luke. And this is me wiping it down, and then you can hear me saying, do you like it?
So, do you like it?
Oh, my friend, you have no idea.
To anyone watching this, this might very well be my final broadcast. Everything I've done, everywhere I've been, it's led me to right here, right now.
So he's traveling to the location where he's going to hopefully get abducted. You can see here just a little throwback to that very first video we did with the skull dancing character. You can see him on his dashboard there. And what I really like about these shots are, this was filmed in the car park in the office, and it was in a car, well lit up obviously, so you could see his face. And essentially anytime he was just sitting there in the car, it wasn't moving. And to make it look like it was moving, we was like running lights past it, and I was shaking the car, like shaking it. And I thought, oh, it's just fine. And then after about 15 minutes of shaking the car, I was like, I am in pieces. My arms do not want to work anymore. So yeah, it's weird to see it. It's also so strange because you do that and you spend ages shaking a car, and then it's on the screen for like 0.3 of a second.
This isn't a goodbye. This is a new beginning. This is a...
This is a new door.
Okay, so this was shot on a green screen. It's like a big, massive open space with just nothing but green walls, and then you can take that green away and then put a new background behind it. So all the background that you see here is completely fake. Really hard to do, it's not really hard to do, but it's really hard to do it well. They've done a great job on this, and there's some more effects with the green screen in a second. He's disappointed because he's got there and it's not the place he thought it was. Or is it? Here it is. So yeah, the tattoo's glowing. He's now came to the place where it was all identified. The tattoo's given him this power to reach another dimension. You see his glasses fly off there. That was actually in the green screen area. He's standing there with his glasses on, and then you've got a ladder on either side, me on one side, Luke on the other side, and we've tied a green string around the rim of his glasses, and we've pulled them off like this, so it looks like they've floated off. It's always interesting when you've been behind the scenes of making them to see how it was done, and then you see the final thing and you're thinking, there's no way that's going to work, and then it just does. Okay, so yeah, he's gone off to wherever he wanted to go. And then this is the only thing that doesn't really make too much sense. He's now back. He's living, there's a nice cameo scene, by the way. You see Luke, Ravi, Laura, basically everybody from the office all in a line there because they were the extras that we could get our hands on at that time. This is the only bit that doesn't make too much sense. He's now back working in his ice cream van, but it's been upgraded and he's now super happy. And then the catchphrase, bring out the real you. So yeah, the final scene is the only iffy thing. You know, I think it can make sense if you want it to make sense. If you didn't watch it that intently and you just watched it passing, you might think, what the hell is that going on about? I understand it. He started this journey searching, and he's never quite managed to get it, but he's always known. And then he's managed to find it, and now he's gone. He's been, you know, taken to another dimension. He's came back and he's like, yeah, he's all happy now. So it does make sense. It's a jump to make it make sense a little bit, but it's fun. It's not supposed to be super serious. None of these things are made to be like actual films. They're just made to be like visually appealing, put a smile on your face for the few minutes that you're watching it, and give you a good time. And then ultimately you see the creativity that Vivid Ink is all about. It's not just the tattoos, it's everything that we do. So yeah, from a rating perspective, I'm going to give that one a 7.5. I think it's visually very good. The story leaves a little bit to your imagination. You kind of get logic a little bit, screw up in a ball and then throw out the window. If you can do that, then maybe you get an 8.5, but 7.5 for me on that one. It's always interesting watching these because there's so much that goes into them. When you're behind the scenes and you see everything that happens to create this final product, there is like so much that goes into it. And I now know this more than anybody because the 2023 Halloween brand advert is wrote and directed by myself. Yes, it's a risky one. If you never see me film another video again, it's because it's bombed and I've gone into hiding for embarrassment. Hopefully that won't happen. Let us know when you do watch it what you think about it. It's going to be coming out in the next couple of days or so. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Excited and very nervous. But yeah, thanks for watching the video today, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you very soon.